do not adjust your radio dial. You are tuned in to the Mark Order Podcast. Join the Mark Order.
It's Wednesday night, so you know what that means. It's the day after Tuesday and the day before Thursday. It's the Mark Order Podcast, and it's obviously Ryan because I hard cut the music. I don't let that fade out.
Don't let it fade out.
Where's Asian Joe when you need him?
Well, Joe lets me do it anyway. I don't know what he's thinking.
When I was with Joe, it was seamless. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's fine. I didn't realize Joe ran. Then why does he make me do it when I'm here? He can run the music. Because
when you're good at something, never do it for free, I guess. I don't know.
Is that the rules?
I don't know.
I guess that's why I do this podcast then, because it's.
I was going to
say. So as anyone listening can notice, it's Ryan back. I was out last week, but I'm not joined by my normal co-hosts of Joe and Kate. They both hate me and fear me is more important. They fear me. So I had to bring on two lovely bearded gentlemen, both from Love Pro Wrestling, both co-hosts of Between Two Beers on Thursday. One of them co-hosts his own AEW show. Well, actually not even. Well, technically, yes.
It's not happening tomorrow.
Okay, so
we have to take the day off tomorrow because
I do stuff too, Ryan.
The state of New York decided that Drew's a whole apartment building needs some more things in it. So, and they were like, when we're doing it? Thursday morning, 10 a.m. And we were like, okay, man, let's roll.
Well, the man who loves himself some firm love wrestling, is who you just heard, JPJ. How you doing, JPJ?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill.
Are you feeling Kate or Joe's?
I don't know. I'm ready for either assignment.
Okay.
But big shoes either way.
Which shoes do you think you'd fit in best? Who has bigger shoes, Kate or
that I don't know. I'm going
to assume Joe.
Yeah, but who says that I have? I mean, I don't know.
Joe has a giant shoe collection.
Okay.
That's not me.
Okay.
That's not me. I'm not a shoe collecting guy.
Me neither. The other voice we're all hearing is also on the Beards. He hosts. Do I want to give him credit now that he called me out on it? I was about to go in on his writing and his hosting. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna say.
I didn't come here for you to be nice to me, so go ahead.
No, he hosts his own yearly festival where all the pluggalos and pluggalettes get together.
Wow.
It is Pluggo. God. How you doing, Pluggo?
I'm fine. That's not true in the slightest. I don't have a gathering of the Pluggalos anywhere yet.
I think you do.
Maybe.
That's not what I've heard.
I mean, listen, I know you're all for exposure, so I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah, I am all for the exposure, which I do on Saturdays, which we'll do this Saturday at a different special time with a special co-host. Shameless plug. Stay tuned.
Did somebody's apartment need to get fixed there too?
No, my normal co-host Blair is going to Queen of the Indies, so he's flying out for that West Coast Pro show. So I'm getting the voice of LPW, Big Bad Boris, to come on and talk about the West Edmonton Brawl, baby.
Big Bad Boris, excellent commentator.
It's pretty good.
One of the best. One of the best.
We like ourselves some Boris.
In my only commentating experience, actually, he was the lead. He was the play-by-play that guided me along.
Thank God you weren't. That would be terrible if your first time.
First time, yeah. He was very complimentary. I thought he was just blowing smoke.
Speaking of complimentary, did you get a new camera just for the Mark Order podcast? Because you're pristine right now, dude.
Yeah. Well,
this is like the clearest I've ever seen you.
It's very plain behind me.
Ryan?
There's a wall and a door.
I agree.
I'm not even talking the wall.
This is the same camera I've always had.
Is there a new light? It's like
no, I got the
you are like what's the 1080p? You're like 1280p.
He's all 4K at this point.
Yeah, you're like 8K, dog.
All right.
As someone who's watched you on many streams, this is the clearest I've seen you.
I will leave the settings like this, but this is usually how I roll.
Outside of my wife and kids, I spend the most time with you. I would know what you look like.
Yeah.
And now you guys have actually met in person, so that's even better.
Yeah. That was something that happened. It was quite a moment.
So,
Wait a minute.
before we get into wrestling, is there anything special going on with you guys that you want to talk about to plug to our audience? Anything like that?
Well, you said I do the Firmly AEW show, which is usually on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Me and Drew also now have Firmly WWE, which is live on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. So we just debuted that last week. So now
You're covering all wrestling.
we're covering all the wrestling firmly. You said at the beginning, I like some firm wrestling. Well,
You need some
Before
firm
you-
love.
Before
I
you
need
know
a
it, I'm going to
2
have
times
to
weight.
be like, back off. We can't have firmly independence because that's my shtick.
we'll figure it out.
I
But
don't-
other than that, no, man. I'm
We've
fine.
got
I'm happy to be
AJ Awesome Show coming on tomorrow
true.
night at.
That
So
is
if
true.
this was recording on a Wednesday, that'd be Thursday at 8 p.m. We met him at SummerSlam. The 14-year-old phenom that is AJ. He's going to come on and
Impressive.
chop
At
it
his
up.
age.
It really
Not,
is.
not gonna
It
lie,
really is.
full shoot, and I'm gonna tell him this. I'll tell the story, and I told it to him. I was talking to his mother, and we were because she went with him, and we were just chopping it up. And he had mentioned he was 14, and like 5 minutes prior, she had mentioned that he started this gig 7 years ago. And me being me, I'm not very bright, as everyone knows.
It's true. I can
And like 20 minutes later, it just dawns on me that he started at 7 years old, his show, and he has gained this massive following that he has, and he's put together quite an impressive resume. And I was like, holy stuff. I don't know if we can curse yet. It's early.
You can say whatever the fuck you want, but
Well,
don't-
shit. I was like, damn, that's math. I was like, at 7, I didn't know. At 7, I had no idea what I was going to do.
Can you tell the true story though? The mom said he was 14 and he had been doing this for 7 years, and you looked at her and said, "I can't believe he was 9 when he started."
Well, actually, what I kind of said was like, I started around the same time he did. I'm much older. I was
Fair.
like, holy crap. I didn't find this until I was in my 30s. But I asked, I got permission I said, he come on anytime he wants. If it's cool with you. She said it was fine. This Thursday, he's going to come hang out with
So
us.
there's going to be no golf talk this week.
No, what?
Yeah,
Golf
no
talk.
Top Golf. He was
Oh,
unfortunately
he was
not at the
he
Top
was
Golf.
not at the Top Golf, but we'll still figure out a way to sneak it in there for sure. Because
Probably.
it's the
We gotta-
hottest.
we gotta-
It's the hottest topic of.
It was the
week.
hottest topic of SummerSlam weekend was the wrestling media going golfing.
Don't worry, I still have footage, unaired footage that I am dropping. If you've noticed, I've been playing hurt this week, but I'm starting to slightly feel a little bit better. So I've been working. I've been dropping little chicken nuggets of like our trip throughout SummerSlam weekend, and don't worry. Maybe this weekend I'll drop the infamous JPJ at Top Golf table bussing experience.
Oh, you don't want to see it. It's not good.
No, it's great.
Not good.
It's great.
I'm not a golfer, so I can't really.
Either
my-
is Kimmy
that-
Sokol or SRS, depending on who you
That
ask.
was my first experience at the Top Golf.
That's
and
all I'll
It was
say.
a pretty good time. It was a pretty
It's
good time.
split
I've been
right
to Top
now.
Golf. They're by me, but
Yeah, it's good. It's a good little fun. Good little fun hang.
Yeah.
Top Golf is fun. The experience overall as a
Yeah,
business,
it-
trash.
Rough night. It was a rough night for
Trash.
Top golf that night, but it was a
Oh,
fun
really?
activity. Oh, it was rough.
You know what they say? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. Unless
Yeah,
you
they
just
did
say-
not. They did not. They were not having a good time. They were not having a good time. They were trying their best though. They were
So
trying
if
their
you're
best.
angling for a Top Golf sponsorship, Ryan, we're sorry, but
I'd be angling for a sponsorship at this point. So
Yeah. I mean, you could try the other Top Golfs, just not in Cleveland. You might be
yeah,
all right.
I mean, like I said,
You
there's
might
one.
be all right.
If we're getting Top Golf, it's probably the one that's literally like 10 minutes from me.
There you go.
yeah. So we'll crash at your house when we head up that way, and we'll go to Top Golf. And
Yeah, we'll
for
get a
you-
sponsorship lined up. good to
JPJ
go.
be down for you be over.
Yeah, I'd have to go a little ways, but it's cool. I'm there. We're
You
gonna
guys are
Top.
You're all about traveling. Are you going to go to Australia for AEW?
No.
No. Listen, I'm all about traveling within certain parameters that make sense for me.
Here's my thing.
In Australia, so
I somewhat agree with Pluggo. Australia is a place that like I would like to visit at some point.
sure.
However, it's like an 18-hour flight or some nonsense like that. And also, I'm not scared of spiders. If I saw a spider on the wall right here, I wouldn't freak out. But if I'm just walking around and there's like 3 of the most venomous spiders on Earth just in
Chilling?
the backyard chilling, no, I don't have no.
Josh Robinson is a saint. That's all I'm gonna say.
I talk to Josh about this regularly. I'm like, dude,
I would need
he's
him
like,
to
"Oh, yeah."
protect
He
me.
goes, the second most venomous snake in the world just lives in like my neighborhood in the backyard. I go, all right, cool. That's all right. That's just
sweet.
you don't care about that at all.
You're just like
You don't care about that at all.
I'm gonna go to AEW for this event, and
You're
the boom
just gonna
snake
walk
kills
out
you
your front
dead.
door tomorrow, go to your car, and drive to work. Like that's not a big deal to you?
No,
because if he bites you, you're dead in like 12 minutes if you don't get to the hospital.
Yeah,
what are you
that's why
talking
I can't
about?
do it.
That's the one reason I'll never be able
I'm
to
not
go.
outrunning no snake. That's for damn sure.
Like I'm not afraid.
Oh.
Like I'm not like there was a snake in one at my parents' house one time, and as soon as I figured out it wasn't venomous, we're good. I'll go grab it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Whatever.
But it's those few minutes where you're like, what are you?
Yeah, you get me.
I'm a snake.
What's
I'm a
going
slithery snake. You look like the guy from the meme a little bit, Ryan. Do it. I'm a snake. I'm a slithery
I'll
snake.
go. I've never been more offended in my life.
on? I don't even know
Hey.
what the hell we're talking about.
You've never seen that meme? Oh, it's a classic.
Dude, I don't pay
It's a
attention
whole. That's like OG YouTube.
to OG
Yeah, that was when
YouTube.
YouTube didn't give you more.
Yeah, I'm older than YouTube. So are you.
So
I mean, so am I. I'm older than you.
Yeah, I know. You got that.
I'm so mad that like I didn't realize what YouTube would become when YouTube first came out.
Just think, all you had to do is be like, put a snake head on and say you're a snake, and you.
Like, can you
would've been
imagine? Do
infamous.
you know? This is not the same, but like, do you know the people that like put money in Netflix when Netflix first started, and they were just mailing you DVDs?
Eh,
Like the people that just were like, you know what? I got $5,000. I'll throw it in here, and then now they're like billionaires.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I remember YouTube coming out, and well, actually, I always say I remember the South Park episode where they made fun of internet money, and at the very end, Kyle has the whole thing. Kyle or Stan has the whole thing of like, it's not there, but it will be. And I'm like, damn, they really did see that coming.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
That, like, you will get paid off of this. It's just not there yet.
Unbelievable.
like just think of all the things we could do that all day, like Uber.
Yeah.
Oh, here's $10,000 for an investment in Uber, and now you're.
What do you need? Okay, let me do this, and now you're
Well, but the reason YouTube I think sticks in my craw sometimes is that it was no money that your investment was. I'm talking like people went on there and they just did the stupidest things, and they eventually made tons of money on it because they were some of the first. And I'm like, but they didn't have to put forward any of their own money.
And now
like-
we're on YouTube doing some of the stupidest things and making no money.
making
Yeah,
no money. And there's like
exactly.
9-year-old kids that make slime that make $200,000 a year, and I go, what?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Excuse me?
I'm not saying I
Not
could
saying
make
I
money on
deserve that.
YouTube.
I'll gladly bring it my way. But what?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not saying I could make money on YouTube, but I see how people do it. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I felt like I was born at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like on that level of things. Like because when I was at the like, you know, people get paid to play video games now. You can be in professional video game leagues. You can be a professional streamer and get paid. When I was like at the age I would have been where you're gonna get into that, the world wasn't there yet. The world wasn't there yet for that.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been like, you know what? I'm not going to college. I'm gonna go play professional Madden.
Yeah.
At
Part of me,
16,
it's like-
I couldn't have done that. Now you
So
can
part
be
of me is
like,
like,
you know
yeah, it was
what?
the wrong
I'm good at
gener-
this game. I'm gonna do something. Yeah, I couldn't have done it.
I'm with you. But then again, part of me goes, I'm glad I kind of didn't grow up in this generation because it's crazy now.
It is, but now you're seeing it from like an older perspective where you're like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. But so we're not going to Australia. All three of us decided no.
No,
Australia
sorry,
trip.
Josh.
Wish Josh
I love
well.
you.
I think I'll end up there at some point, but nah, they gotta fix.
I
their,
family there. I still don't think I'll
they're
ever
venomous-
go. I think it's
venomous.
Sorry, Rhea, we're not making it. You know, it's just not.
Oh, I'd go for Rhea.
Oh, yeah. If I knew she was gonna be there, that would be.
No. If she asked me, I'd be there today.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're not
I
gonna
don't
say no to
plan it
mommy. I
out.
mean,
Yeah.
you just don't.
But-
You almost never say no to your mother. So
No.
you know, that's them the rules.
But I'm not.
So
it's just too
you
long
know?
of a flight.
The long flight. I would make the flight work, but I'm telling you, it's just I don't need to be out. Like if you're like, hey, you want to go spend the afternoon outside at a bar, and I'm like, yeah, but at any point, a spider can bite me, and I could be dead in 20 minutes. And I'm just supposed to
there's
like
part
just
of
have
that,
a good
but
time.
to me, it's the flight. I just
All right,
can't.
That's fair.
So if I ever hit the lottery, I'll go because then I'll just buy some first class tickets or something and I'll fly over.
Yeah.
I just don't have that money to do that. So
Fair.
it'd be fine.
Fair.
So I'll say hi to our chat real quick. Pieces, Lord Kev, Kylie, Scott George, Big G, Greg Cherry, and Lieutenant Colonel Photo. Always thank you for your service.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what he served.
Sorry to
in,
disappoint that there is no Asian Joe and Kate, but we're here.
We're trying.
Again, they fear me. They fear me. So
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Should.
Are we going to bust out the Ryan Fun meter today?
Oh, yeah. We're going to get there soon. First, we're going to do our
that's
commercials.
Really, the only reason I'm here is to rag on you and to see the Fun meter.
Wow. That's the only reason you're here? Wow.
Kind of. Yeah.
You know what?
He's like, I got to deal with you tomorrow. So.
Yeah, it's like I already deal with you.
I got to deal with you tomorrow. So
yeah.
You know anything about that, Pluggo? You know what?
It's super fun because the Fun meter has nothing but fun on it. Oh.
That is no fun.
What the hell?
It's fair.
That's fine.
So we're going to take our quick break to advertise all the great shows we share a network with, the Shining Wizards Network, and then we'll come back and actually talk the wrestling that we saw.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Can't promise anything.
We could talk anything.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in every Monday night to listen to The Shining Wizards. If you'd like to continue to support us outside of listening, we've got a few ways for you to do that. If you shop at Amazon, go over to amazon.shiningwizards.com, do your shopping as usual, and when you make your purchase, a little bit of that purchase price will go back to support the show. If you like to wear t-shirts, merch.shiningwizards.com will take you to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, where we've got over a dozen great designs from over 11 years of professional wrestling podcasting. You can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast, where each and every week we call out your name as one of our show producers, and the more you support us, the more things that you're entitled to receive, and believe me, they are fantastic. If you can't support us monetarily, if you don't shop at Amazon, that's absolutely fine. Continue to listen to us wherever you listen to us on the World Wide Web, and make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out, and we can continue to bring you the love fest that is The Shining Wizards.
What's up, folks? It's your boy, the Impact Player, Mr. Philly Ray, inviting all of you to check out the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Join us as we cover all things current in the world of pro wrestling, as well as paying homage to the old school, the squared circle. So listen in and find out why we are the recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting. Find us on all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast from. And as always, we are the proudest members of the Shining Wizards Network and Rant Entertainment Media.
Are you tired of being lied to every day by the mainstream media?
Do you want to know what's really going on in the world?
Do you want to make up your own mind about things and not be told what to think or say?
Then listen to Inconclusive Breakdown, a weekly anti-PC look at the world of entertainment and current events, brought to you without censorship or filters.
You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts, BitChute, and on ShiningWizardsNetwork.com.
And also, we're a proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Got 30 minutes to kill?
Come check out 30 Screams or Less, where we review a horror movie in 30 minutes or less. We cover new movies and old ones too.
We'll give our honest thoughts on the movie, good or shit, as well as a rating of each one that we watch.
New episodes weekly, available on the Shining Wizards Network and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Corey.
Come check us out at 30 Screams or Less.
G'day guys, my name is Thomas, one half of the Broadcast Podcast. With our podcast, we go back and watch wrestling events from WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, AEW, and many other wrestling promotions. You can check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast, that's TheBrokast, and you can also download all episodes on Apple Podcast, Castbox, Castro, and many other podcast apps.
If you like your music heavy, then check out Radioactive Metal on the Shining Wizards Network. For over 16 years now, Radioactive Metal has been one of the longest running podcasts. Over the years, we've interviewed some legendary metal acts, had some awesome discussions, and cranked a hell of a lot of tunes. So join your cool Uncle Snowy and his co-host Aaron for the audio mosh pit that is Radioactive Metal here on the Shining Wizards Network.
Well, the action is underway!
What's up, everyone? When on the Shining Wizards Network, be sure to check out Wrestling Night in Canada. If we're not recording another kick-ass podcast,
or playing in punk bands,
or recording kick-ass heavy metal albums,
then we're sitting back, we're grabbing a couple brews, and going over everything to do in the world of pro wrestling.
Because we're from Winnipeg, you idiots.
The Mark Order Podcast is the only show you need if you're looking for dedicated coverage of everything AEW on the Shining Wizards Network. Join us live on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern after Dynamite to chat along with the show. If you can't join us live, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social channels at Mark Order Pod and use the hashtag #JoinTheMarkOrder, because if you don't find us,
we will find you.
I'm Kevin Rowe.
I'm Al Day.
And we're a couple of down under pounders that co-host Rogue Day Dots, an action figure collecting podcast where we talk about, well, just about anything that tickles our fancy at any given moment.
We're grumpy old men, and sometimes people get on our nerves. And when you get on our nerves, guess what? You get off the lawn.
Get off my lawn, asshole! We also go on a little bit of a mission. We go back and we're grading every wrestling figure line that's out there. I'm talking LJNs. I'm talking Jacks. I'm talking Hasbros. Who doesn't like a little Hulkaplex? It's a Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production found on the Shining Wizards Network.
I'm Duke Bags.
Kevin Rowe.
And together we are the co-hosts of Your Duke and Road. If you want to hear about some terrible wrestling shows, we got you covered.
Well, we talk about good ones, too.
We're currently talking about the death of WCW.
I know what we're fucking talking about. Sometimes we get guest spots, like from the Taskmaster. I like to listen to the Your Duke and Rope podcast. They're funny guys. That I like when they talk about the Nards plows. I like Nards plows. That's a good move. And I like the Dungeon of Doom. You know, sometimes I call my butt the Dungeon of Doom. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Let me tell you a little bit about my favorite wrestling podcast. All right. It's a podcast for two men, Duke Bags, Kevin Rowe. They talk about professional wrestling. It's a man's sport. All right? And who better to talk about a man's sport than Duke? Oklahoma.
And once in a while, Vince Russo stops by.
Oh, you piece of shit! If you're not listening to the Your Duke and Rowe podcast in the back with the boys, you piece of shit, I don't know what you're doing. It's, you gotta slide one in there. If you're a man, you're talking about something only a man can do. You're talking about sliding one in there. Bro, take the time to slide one in there. All right, bro, you piece of shit. Slide one in there. A Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production that you can find on the Shining Wizards Network.
And we are back. And thank you for listening to those commercials. I hope you check out some of those shows on the Shining Wizards Network. They're all great. If you're bored and you want to spend some money, go to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, Pro Wrestling Tees /MarkOrderPod. You can find a link tree in all of our socials at MarkOrderPod. That's the best sales pitch you get from me today. I'm not much of a sales pitch guy. All right. Now we're on to the fun stuff, the wrestling. Overall, did you guys like tonight's show?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I liked.
Oh,
good.
But no, go. Keep going.
No, I was going to say
I don't want to taint your view of the show.
No, I thought I liked it. There were some things I really liked, and there was some things I did not like. But I thought overall it was a good show.
It was a very chatty episode of Dynamite. Like very chatty. Like we'll hear from this person. We'll hear from this person. We're gonna hear from this person next. It's like this is not your typical Dynamite. And it felt like a go home show, but it's not the go home show.
It felt like
a lot
it
of
was a
that
show
online.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I
It
was just
felt
saying,
like
so
it was a show
all
that
that.
was just getting to the go home show. They were like, all right, we got
yeah,
a week
yeah.
until the
I mean,
go
it
home
wasn't
show.
bad.
Let's
The
figure something
matches,
out.
the matches we got were great.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
get me
100%.
wrong, but I was
And
just like,
I
oh.
thought the main event segment and like heating up Danielson and Swerve, I thought they did well. We'll talk about it as we go through, but yeah, I thought it was very much hey, let's get to the go home show and let's get to the go home show.
let's get on this airplane and fly across the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes you need to have these episodes where you have a lot more talking just to set things up, but you think maybe you could just litter that across a couple episodes and you wouldn't have to just go so heavy on one. Like you could.
Yeah. It's like we got two
few of
matches.
these conversations.
And then like talk.
Oh no. Oh,
what?
I thought I lost both. I thought I went out, and I was like, "Oh, great!"
Ooh.
No, nobody
That
went
would've
out
been
over
bad.
there. I didn't look like it. At least.
Yeah, JPJ is a crystal clear 1280p.
Oh, yeah, you guys are great. And you
what
both
the-
froze simultaneously on my screen.
Oh,
So I was
So you
very
were
worried
like,
that I
"Oh,
had lost it. I was like, "That's awkward." But yeah, overall pretty good. So we'll start with, you know what? We're gonna do this a little differently. Kate and I have been switching up a bit. We're gonna start with the thing that I think most people were talking about, which is the end, which is Swerve Strickland beating Wheeler and then kicking Danielson in the brain. How are we feeling about this? I mean, it was a good match
Definitely.
between Swerve and Wheeler. They're both good wrestlers. Swerve ends it and then just starts beating Wheeler unconscious and continue to hit him after he's unconscious, which was just looked brutal. So the Danielson has to make the save. They do their little spat on the microphone. Swerve goes, "I'm going to beat you in front of your daughter," the whole thing. But what I liked is, as soon as Danielson turns his back to check on Wheeler, Swerve runs back in and kicks him. And I always wonder why people don't do that more.
I almost turned the TV off.
Well,
I thought it was done, and then I saw the crowd go, and I was like, "Oh, he's coming!" And boom, take him out.
Because it's a trope in wrestling. The guy yells, you turn your back and you check on the guy.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm always thinking, this is when I would run and attack.
Yeah.
And Swerve
100%.
did it.
Sounds like a Ryan
So,
move.
you know what? I was going to go to Pluggo. JPJ, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was good. I mean, obviously, they know Danielson's gonna they know everyone's gonna be rooting for Danielson. They know we're at the end here for Danielson. He hasn't won the title in AEW. The majority of people going into that match are going to be very pro Bryan Danielson. So they're going the route of, all right, well, Swerve was this dastardly heel not too long ago. We know that, we've been presenting him as a good guy, but in this feud, people aren't going to be rooting for him. So let's lean into it. Let's let him be the antagonist, I would say. And this, I thought it was really well done. I thought, and then he mocked with the yes chants after, and he was kind of soaking it in and just, and it was like, all right, cool, man, let's do it. I think it's smart. I mean, you could just do the babyface versus babyface route, which they could have done. But I think it's smart because they know that the majority of people in that arena at All In are going to be pro Danielson, wanting to see him do it. So
Yeah, he got the Green Day. He got the Green Day video.
that retrospective with that Green Day was great.
If you
That
weren't on
was
Team
fantastic.
Danielson at that app before that, you certainly are now.
Well, there was an article out this week where someone asked like Danielson's favorite songs for each thing, and the song he wanted to play at his funeral, I'm pretty sure that was the song. So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny they played it for this.
Yeah.
He's got to
I mean, yes,
win,
I-
right? He's got to win, right?
Well,
I will not be rooting for him to win. I know. Sorry.
You want him
Sorry,
to be
everybody.
done? You want the GOAT to be
No.
just done?
Well, now that they're doing the career thing, like, no, I don't want him to be done. But I'm one of the few that it's like, hey, I get it. It's Danielson. I get it. But Hangman should have won. It should be Hangman and Swerve in this main event at All In, and I will think that until the end of time. So it's not an anti-Danielson thing at all for me. It's
Sounds
a very
pretty
much
anti-Danielson.
No, it's not. It's not from that realm. I
Looks like
respect.
JPJ didn't have the time of his life.
No, apparently not. Apparently
No,
not.
I enjoy. No, I thought that was a great. I just Hangman and
Good
Swerve is the
riddance,
match for
right?
me.
Just
Hangman and Swerve is the match for
Ugh,
me.
Danielson, gross. That's what you sound like right now.
No, that's not what I sound
Here he
like
goes.
at all.
He's going.
At all, that's not what I sound.
JPJ ranting. Put the fun meter up,
No,
Ryan.
I'm not going to rant. You're not going to bait me into a rant. I know what I said. This was not an anti-Danielson movement. Just Swerve and Hangman should be the main event of All In. That's it. That's all. There is no better feud. No better. That's the match.
But it's not the match.
Well, yeah, it should be though. So I want Swerve to win. So Hangman and Swerve can still happen for the title.
Pluggo, do a few things. How'd you enjoy the match and the ending? And do you agree? Do you disagree with JPJ's assessment over who should be in the match?
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to wave my way through the anti-Danielson rhetoric that was just spewed. I'm just kidding. No, I thought it was fine. Definitely Swerve. I think he's on another level right now. Honestly, like I was very impressed with the match and the way he just. I like this side of Swerve. I like this ruthless, cutthroat. I'll step on everybody. I mean, like you said, Danielson's the face, obviously. So why not just go the heel route, lean into it for this, and then we can. Swerve is one of those guys that can do both, like on the flip of a switch. So if you were to go the Hangman route right after, he could be the face in that if you really wanted him to be. So I thought it was good. It was good. That's all I'll say. I mean, I'm still shocked and chagrined that you would go anti-Danielson on me tonight, but no, it was.
He's taking a firm stance there.
I am. That's what we do over here.
Firmly Hangman Page.
We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about Hangman Page tonight. We're going to be talking about Hangman at some point, and I will say my feelings about Hangman when we get there.
So I think we'll get to Hangman in a second. I'll use this as a segue in a second, but I will say that that's the advantage of keeping Swerve's character true to itself, which is even when he's face, he kind of does some heelish things because it allows for him to float in and out of these stories so well. He could be more heelish with Danielson and more face with someone else. Whereas I think
wasn't he literally the face like 2 weeks ago in Blood and Guts when he was on Team AEW? Right,
he's literally the captain of Team AEW.
Exactly. But then you have it's the thing that used to kill the Big Show, which is like his face and heel turns made no sense because he would completely change character.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're just kind of floating in and out of what level of who you're fighting, it makes it way better.
It feels like Swerve does things that benefit Swerve. So he's like, oh, yeah, captain of Team AEW. Yeah, I'll put on the Raw cap. That gives me, marketability, exposure, like in his character sense, maybe not as a person, but. And then he's like, oh, Danielson trying to take my title, wants to put his career up. Okay. Fuck your daughter. That's what he said. He's like, Birdie, I don't give a shit, Birdie. You're going to watch me kill your dad.
Where's Kate when you need her? She was in agreement at that point. I will say this, and this is something that the two of you may or may not appreciate. Hearing Green Day's Good Riddance, my head got brought back to other songs that I tie in with that, and they're totally unrelated, but I blame MTV for this and like TRL and all, and in my head came Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Wow. That's a throwback.
I started thinking about Vitamin C Graduation.
Well, they were both at the same time, and I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, as we go, we remember.
Yeah. What is the what's the song by the band was Eve 6? Not Inside Out, but the slower one that's kind of like
it's Just Tonight.
Just Tonight, yes. I lump all those songs. Those are like, that's the.
Did you notice
like
they were the Bush's
song or the Graduation song? Yeah.
Here's to the Night. It's Here's to the Night. That's right.
Here's to the Night. That's right.
Here's to the Night. We felt alive. Here's to the tears we.
Yeah, like all those songs that were like, you play this at the last party of the summer before everyone goes back to school, and you're like, we're not gonna like each other in like a year and a half. It's gonna be amazing. All right, let's have this party.
Yeah. Or the graduation part thing where you're like, I'm not gonna remember you in 3 years.
Literally, not gonna even remember.
Won't hurt me at all.
But you keep getting those emails to come to the reunions, and you're like,
right.
I don't talk
Listen,
to any of you
I will say, I'm gonna age myself here. But earlier this year, I had my 20-year high school reunion, and I went, and it was a blast. So pro reunions, you should go to your reunions.
Oh, mine's like next week.
You should go. I didn't think I was gonna have a good time. I got there, and I was like, wow, this is actually all right. This is actually a good time.
I think I got.
So I don't know if my school will have one because the person in charge of scheduling all that is supposed to be
was
from
your
class,
mom.
And she just checked out.
Because you're homeschooled.
We didn't do a 10-year one because there was no interest, but for some reason it got to the 20, and everyone was like, "Hell yeah, let's go get drunk!" And we were like, "All right."
I have no interest in going to that.
Let's go, and that was it. We rented a hall. We actually like over 200 people showed up. There was like a lot of people. I was like,
that would have been my entire class.
No, our class was a lot. We had like 700. It was a lot. But like in my brain, I was like, there's gonna be 13 people here. Nobody's coming to this. And I walked in and I was like, how are there so many people here? Losers. All of us are these losers. We're showing up here, but it was a blast. Had a great DJ. Oh, open bar. Let's go, dude. All right. Anyway, I digress.
All right. Well, then we'll switch into the man that JPJ loves also so much.
Hangman
Adam Page. He is scheduled to have a match with what's his face?
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal, thank you. And Jay Lethal's being interviewed beforehand with Jeff Jarrett. And out of nowhere comes Hangman, Adam Page, and attacks the ever-living crap out of him.
Yep.
Which then Jay Lethal kind of twists and turns into his advantage, and they make their way to the ring, and the bell goes, and they have a match. But I feel like about halfway through that match, it switched from being back and forth to just being straight Hangman.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like 6 topes in a row or something. I was like, oh, this is all Hangman. So Hangman won.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Kate's not here, I can not hype up Jeff Jarrett as much as I would need to. I'm not quite sure why they're trying to relate these stories as much as they are. Like, they tried to tie Jeff Jarrett into Danielson, and they're trying to tie in.
I liked the Jeff Jarrett Danielson stuff. I didn't mind.
I liked it. I did too. But now they're trying to tie in like Jeff Jarrett with Hangman and stuff. I'm like, just let that go.
Well, it's because they screwed the pooch and they had Danielson win the tournament to get this match at All In. So now they don't have anything to do with Hangman. So they're like, hey, give him the old man and waste everyone's time with the best guy on your roster. Anyway, we're fine.
Now, you think? Whoa! We're gonna get to the couple things here, but you think Hangman's the best guy on the roster?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's the best guy. I think he should be the world champion sooner than later.
Hold on. You guys.
I mean, Swerve. Look at
I'll just read.
It's Swerve. It's him. But I think Hangman hits Moxley. Moxley's up there.
Great,
but
I'm just gonna. Oh, sorry. I didn't. What a coincidence.
I think since Hangman has come back with this new type of character, yeah, I think he should be not. And again, I have no.
And if we're talking future plans of the man on the roster,
oh wow.
Oh, hold on. Any more, or is that all you got?
Yeah. This guy over here.
I could start whipping out.
He just does chaos. He just does chaos.
Listen, my books aren't wrestling, so it'd just be other stuff.
I have no problem with the Jeff Jarrett stuff. I think him and Hangman will have a fine match at All In. I just think Hangman should be in a better position than fighting Jeff Jarrett. At All In.
There's 2 different arguments here. One, I don't think Hangman should be in Danielson's spot. But 2, I do agree he should not be fighting Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
I think you could have done a Pac versus Hangman match.
I'd be okay with that. I would not
guys.
be as agitated.
It would have been a real simple thing. Pac is out there pissed off that he's not getting his match with, I guess MJF or Ospreay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow he interacts with, and he's miserable, and he somehow crosses paths with Hangman, who's miserable that he's not getting his shot against Swerve, and they fight because they're just both miserable bastards. And that leads to a match. And then you would have just had this kick-ass match that everyone would have loved, and Pac would have had a shot at Wembley. Like, why wouldn't you just go that route?
Because I think they want to give Hangman a win.
You still give him a win. Oh, yeah, I guess you don't want...
You know what I mean? And again, that would be if you did... Don't get me wrong. I would much prefer to see Hangman and Pac.
He would have got his win had he won the tournament.
Which he should have.
No.
Dude.
I'm not a Jeff Jarrett guy at all. Very well known.
Yeah, and I consider myself to be pro Jeff Jarrett, to be honest.
So
I'm fairly pro Jeff Jarrett, just not in this context.
The only time I was on Jeff Jarrett's side was the Owen, where I was like, "Oh, you got me there."
See,
the rest of it, I'm like, well, how do you keep getting TV time?
If I knew the way they were gonna tell that Owen story with Jeff Jarrett, with Danielson, with Hangman, they should have had Jarrett go at least win one match and go against Hangman or whatever, and then get just utterly brutalized by Hangman, and then have Hangman lose to Danielson, and you would have had a whole story there. But it just felt wrong. But do we care about Jay Lethal at all?
No.
In the context of AEW, why should I? Right? He doesn't win much. He's just he's a good wrestler, but what is that? What has he done?
They're like a babyface group now. right?
Yeah.
Are they?
Like they're like yeah, that's yeah.
Hangman's kind of heel, so yeah.
Hangman's I mean, I love the gimmick that Hangman has now where he just beats people up the second he sees them. Like that, he doesn't even care anymore. That's been his thing the last couple of weeks where he's just like just shows up and backstage he goes, "Oh, I don't like you," and just starts fighting people.
We're gonna fight.
That's all right with me. I like it.
I mean, to me, Jay Lethal should be. I know he should go to ROH.
Yep.
He should win their title from Briscoe and be a heel champion, but be like I was ROH when ROH was ROH, and like be that guy. And he'd be better use of him. But that's neither here nor there. We have Pac cut a promo. I know I'm all out of order, but we talked about Pac, so we're gonna go to that. We had him cut a promo where he basically says like, "I'm not getting my match," but he'll have it all out. I'm okay.
Does that say to you that he's going to interfere in MJF Ospreay, and there's going to be a non-finish?
No,
I got that vibe.
Oh, we're gonna get that vibe soon. We're gonna get that vibe soon on this show. Let me tell you. No, I just got the vibe that he's just gonna get the winner. I think he's just gonna get the winner. Although I did like the promo from Pac. I thought it was good. And I liked the way it was presented, and I liked the line he said at the end. You're gonna find out how bad a bastard can be, and whatever. Like he's telling the truth. He got passed over. He won. He's the number one contender, but yet because of what happened, Ospreay jumped the line. He's telling truth. He's spitting facts. My thing is, you can't. Again, like you found a match for Hangman. Like you can't find a match for Pac to get on All In.
That's
is he just not going to be on the show? He's just going to be cool with being like, yeah, I'll wait 2 weeks. Like he wants to be. He's English. He wants to be on that. He should be on that show.
He should be on the show.
Yeah, that's the only thing where it's kind of like, what the hell?
That's where I thought like him and Hangman. That should have been the match.
Yeah, or find him something. Jeez.
Or he could have gone against. Well, no, I would have wanted He could have gone against Okada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have had a bunch, but he feels like he's being wasted. But they still have 1 week. They still have they're in his backyard for that.
They are, right?
If you're going to get a pop from a crowd for making a match, it would be in front of a live crowd, like him coming out being like, "I don't have a match,"
I want
one. and then someone saying like, "Oh yes, you do," and it could either be anyone on the roster, or it could just be like an English guy who gets an English pop. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, he could get at it. We do see them add a decent amount of matches the last week before the shows most times. Like at least 3 or 4
they have like 30
matches.
matches. So
yeah.
Yeah, All In's going to be like 17 hours. Be ready to strap in.
Well, it's afternoon wrestling for us, so that's not bad.
But it's still going to end at like midnight, and you're going to be like,
what?
After midnight,
what happened?
We gonna let it all
Didn't it start at 1?
I told the wife this thing started at 1.
I thought this started at 1 today. It did.
I made dinner plans.
11:50.
But hey,
what the hell?
More power to
I didn't know AEW was doing 2-day pay-per-views
in one day.
In one day.
Yeah. We're doing the 2-day pay-per-view in a day because we're the best. We're the best wrestle.
Well, my idea was again like Pac maybe versus Okada, but right now Okada's lining up to wrestle Claudio next week in Cardiff. So they had a face-off. I loved it. Okada's still doing his thing, and I think that's fine. I think he actually came off well because he's playing that like smarmy heel very well. And then I thought Claudio sounded excellent.
Yeah.
I liked it.
You got 99 proms, and this bitch is one. I was like, damn.
Yeah. I liked it. I've always been a big Claudio guy. I know he's not going to win this match, but it's a good spot for him. He deserved the spot. The match is going to be incredible with those two. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
So wait, is Okada not on All In?
No, because it sounds like that's going to be on Dynamite next week, right?
It is. So, but Okada doesn't have a match,
so
right?
now, but yeah, neither of those guys.
So I 1000% think if once Okada beats Claudio, Pac has to have that match.
That'd be nice. But if but here comes a problem, right? And again, we're probably going too deep into it. Okay. If they have that match at All In, Okada most likely has to win that match. And then 2 weeks later, Pac, who comes off a huge loss,
you're right,
at All In, is going to be going for a title. And that looks stupid. So they've, again,
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that.
You know?
Aren't they doing a casino gauntlet or something? Maybe he gets in
They
that.
are doing that. They are doing that. So he could get in that.
But he can't win it.
And they said they're filling that up with a decent amount of names because they really want to solidify that as like their match now, like the AEW kind of match.
Which, a couple things. So, great segue there, Plugger. I know we're completely out of order, but I'm just trying to go segue to segue. You had your match for the number 1 spot in the casino gauntlet, which is hilarious because I think all of us as wrestling fans, when we hear your spot in a match, we think Royal Rumble 30.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to see someone going for 1. It was Orange Cassidy.
One in a gauntlet
Roderick Strong.
match is a weird.
Yeah, like you don't want one. So like you
want last.
Which was weird to me because I was like, they're fighting to be number 1, right? So they're fighting to be in the gauntlet match the longest.
Well, this is why once they've explained the structure, I actually love this match. It just took them explaining the structure a few times, which is it can end the very first match.
Oh, that's true. I get yes. All right.
So if Orange goes out against Pac, we'll say Pac is in it, and Orange pins
So
Pac.
he
in
has the
first
best
match.
chance to win, but potentially could be in this thing a while.
Yeah. So no one else, like if Orange pins the first guy, no one else gets to come out. He's the champ, and he gets the shot and he walks away. Now we know wrestling that everyone else is going to come out.
They're going to win.
But it's still, actually like that because it gives a little sense of urgency to each guy coming out versus like, I don't know. Orange Cassidy
somebody else comes out. You kind of know like this guy's gas. This guy's going to beat him. Yeah, you're just waiting to the end. Now I like it. It's a good concept. So we'll see.
Orange wins.
Yeah.
So we know 3 of the people in there then are Orange, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong are all in the gauntlet. How many people are in the gauntlet?
As many as it takes. From the history of the AEW gauntlet,
I was going to say, I
they've
don't
never
think
put like a number on it. They've just like, we'll put 47 people out there if we have to.
I don't think.
And then Ospreay just comes out and wins them all.
I don't think so this time. I think
he might win this one, depending on where it drops on the card.
Might see that upstart Ricochet show up here.
That would be really cool.
I think this is where we're going to see Ricochet show up during this. I don't know if we'll win it, but probably.
If you're going to have Pac though in the gauntlet, you should announce that ahead of time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Let people be excited to see him come out. Let it be known.
I think they'll announce. I think I don't know how many wrestlers. Let's just say there's going to be 6 wrestlers. I think we're going to know about 4 of them, and they'll leave a couple open because I think
there's going to be a couple surprises, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I'm trying to think. I was trying to think for someone really stupid, and I couldn't. So
Marco Stunt, baby.
I said stupid.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Like now that we're speaking about Marco Stunt, he's got that itch. I told you guys once he got back in the swing of things, he'd have that itch to get back in the ring, and he is killing it.
I take him seriously.
I see that. I see that face, JPJ. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm chilling. I'm vibing.
Well, again, we're moving pretty smoothly. Pluggo once again sets me up on a segue. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. He references.
Not really. Just kind of. I'm just that good, man. I'm pro.
Are you just that good?
No, no. This is all dumb luck. It's all gonna crumble soon.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Past my bedtime.
Tomorrow night at 8:00. It will crumble.
Before we get to, did you guys have any thoughts on the match, the 3-way match?
No, I thought it was fine. It was what I expected from the 3 of them. Yeah. To be honest.
I would have liked them I would have liked Orange to maybe lose that.
Yes.
Just because, but not. I mean, again, he's bulletproof in my opinion. So in my eyes, he could take these L's. In Tony's eyes, he's like, I got to give him all the wins because we got to keep him hot. But I don't think you know what I mean. Just for something different. But overall, good match.
He's in a weird spot where he does win, obviously, a ton.
Yeah.
But he never. But if you think about it, he's never been the heavyweight champ.
No.
Like they lose when he gets to that level. Like he seems.
You want the internet to burn? Make Orange Cassidy your champ.
I love him so much.
That is
unbelievable.
For it.
He's so good.
If you don't like Orange Cassidy, you're just a hater.
You're just not watching.
I'm not gonna sit here. He doesn't have to be your favorite, but during his international championship run, if that guy didn't prove to you that he's as good as average, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
He puts his hands in his pockets. Yeah, so do I.
I don't know what to tell you. So,
a lot of the complaints about him aren't accurate anymore.
No, they're just not. They weren't accurate at the beginning.
No, but like even now, like his
now
it's
like solidified.
So
it's like,
dude
was a top 10.
People
dude
are just holding on to that.
Like, get out of here. Get out of here, man.
So okay, yeah, I agree. There was nothing special about that match. It was a lot of fun, but there wasn't anything that was like, this is the thing. It was a segue from Pluggo, but it's a real quick point, which is we had 2 packages for the Ospreay versus MJF match.
Hell yeah!
We saw 2 highly produced packages plus MJF versus Michael Oko over in England, and then Ospreay had to make a save. Nothing special about these. Don't know if you guys have a comment. They were just. I actually think their packages have greatly improved.
Yeah,
they were very well done.
Super well done. I got fired up for it, but I think the package itself was nothing new that we didn't already know. They cut it super well, and I was like, damn, I'm super into this match, even though I already was, but now I'm like, holy shit, let's get this going. But yeah, nothing new came of it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the footage from the match with Oku and then Ospreay showing up over there, I thought that was like cool footage to see, like the crowd flipping out for Ospreay and stuff like that. But yeah, it was nothing. There was no new information we found out in either of these.
No.
They were just really, really well done, and they were good hype pieces. They were good hype up pieces.
Which I think I'm glad they're getting better at their hype pieces, because if there's one thing that, I mean, I don't know, it sounds like I was going to trash them, but I'm not. Even in their worst days, I'll say this: if there's one thing WWE did well, even in their worst days, was their hype packages. Sometimes to their detriment, where you can miss things, and their hype packages are still that good.
Yeah.
I think AEW.
Yeah, that was a trope for years. You could just go, I'll show up at pay-per-view time. They'll tell me everything I need to know. I don't have to watch the weekly programming. So
but there's an advantage to that, where a new fan comes in and goes, "Why does this matter?" And you have, you can watch in 60 seconds.
You can watch a month's worth of stuff in a minute and go, all right, there you go. That's the gist. That's all you need.
Yeah, I just thought the way they cut it was it captured all of the intensity of the match, and it was it was very well done.
I liked them both, but the second one they showed, that was really I thought.
So if you thought All In was going to be long now, wait till they start throwing these hype packages in the front of these matches. I'm just kidding.
I don't want that. I like hype packages in the weeks leading up. I don't need them right before.
That's what the pre-show's for. The weeks leading up and the pre-show are to show all your hype packages, get everybody excited. I don't need to see the hype packages on the Dynamite before, then on the 2-hour pre-show, then before every match. I know what we're doing. I bought the show.
You also think, what about the Hangman hype package for the match?
That's fine. Hangman for his
he gets one.
match that's going to go third against Jeff Jarrett for 7 minutes.
Sorry,
great.
Brian.
Anyway,
you knew what you were getting.
I'm saving my rant for the end.
It's Hangman, first by the way. It's not Hangman. It's Hangman.
It's Hangman.
I call him
Hangman Adam Page.
Midwestern
Hangman Adam Page.
Hangman style.
First match of the night was Hikaru Shida versus Mercedes Moné for your TBS championship.
Awesome.
Mercedes ends up cheating to win. Camille with the distraction. Mercedes got distracted. I'm sorry, Mercedes with the distraction, but Camille then boots Hikaru in the face. Amazing match. I mean, these two it was a great match to start the show. I will say post match, you had Britt Baker's music play. Then there was a fan in attendance dressed just like Britt Baker was with the black hoodie and the Sting mask. Camille attacks her. It's not Britt Baker. Britt Baker gets in the ring, attacks Mercedes, gets her in the lockjaw. Camille makes the save. Couple comments. Again, the match was amazing. I think Hikaru Shida, for being their 3-time champ, is still somehow underrated. And I will laugh. The save that Camille made just didn't make sense to me. She's like trying to pull Mercedes out. I'm like, if you just run in, you can just stomp on Britt.
Yeah, because at that point the ref wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Was the ref not around at that point? Like, why wouldn't Camille just get in there and attack instead of?
There was a few moments where it was kind of clunky, where like Camille was looking at the Tron, waiting for Britt to come out a little long. You didn't really explain. She just beat up a fan?
Yeah.
Because if it's not Britt, who was it? We need to know. Because,
never said who it was.
You should be suspended.
It could be Kimmy Sokol. That was a rumor that it could have been Kimmy Sokol.
I said we got to squash that based on top golf scores.
I cannot deny or confirm that, but I have heard on these interwebs.
It might have been. She was hanging out with Britt this weekend.
She was a tiny person. It's a tiny person.
But then I saw
look tiny against Camille.
Maybe I was looking at it weird, but when Mercedes was in the ring looking at Camille, looking for Britt, and Britt ended up in the ring, did I not see Mercedes turn too early, then turn back around?
Here's my thing.
Unless I was watching it wrong, which I was like, everything up to that point, I was all in on it. The match ruled.
I don't remember if I saw her turn around and then turn back and then turn back around, but it felt like when Britt was getting in the ring, it felt Mercedes' reaction felt very slow to me. I was like, why are you not going after her immediately? Like, you just let her calmly, like the way the camera was shot and Mercedes, I was like, Mercedes doesn't know that like they showed Britt Baker. It took Britt Baker a minute and a half, it felt like, to get to the ring from when they started. And I'm like, how do you not know at that point that Britt Baker is coming for you, Mercedes? What?
Yeah.
The crowd, it just felt very long.
I think that was part of the problem. I think Britt was just slow, and they were
very
just
weird.
threw off the timing. But
again, great
there's
match.
a fan who got beat up.
The whole lead up. This
Kimmy
match
got beat up. Kimmy Soko got beat up. Clip it for
like
social.
this particular match, Mercedes and Britt, is like, honestly, MJF and Ospreay and this are the two matches I'm looking for. This match is going to be great.
No, I want Mariah versus Tony.
That's going to rule too. Those are the
which I guess is my segue into that.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's stick on this match for a second.
Okay.
What were any thoughts from the match itself? I mean, like I said, it was very good.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad they opened.
I'm glad they opened, and I'm glad the match went as well as this, because there's still that section of Mercedes haters they'll pick apart everything she does. I thought this match had very minimal like pick apartable moments. I thought it was really well done. Credit to Sheeta, who's fantastic, and Mercedes. Like, they pulled out a really great match.
Like you said, Ryan, I feel like friggin' Sheeta is their 3-time women's champion, the only 3-time women's champion in the history of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like every time he has a showing like this, you can tune into any wrestling podcast, and everyone's like, "Man, Sheeta is so good." And it's like she constantly has to remind everybody that she's one of the best people on the roster. And it's like, no, she's been that way forever.
It's because
sometimes they don't use her and you forget.
It's because AEW
for a while
has a terrible history with their women's division. So when she was cooking, they weren't doing what they're doing now with the women's division. So it's constantly like, oh yeah, remember that 925 match she had a couple years ago?
Yeah, that went 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would like, I'm glad she is the person that reminds us all the time of how damn good she is, because like you said, she is the 3-time women's champion, and somehow it always feels like she's underrated. Yeah. Always, like never mentioned when they talk about how good the women's roster is. Like we say 5 or 6 names before we say Sheeta, and she should be in the first 2 or 3 names.
Absolutely.
She's literally a 3-time champion.
I like that she seems to be developing her character out of this.
Yeah.
Like, she is almost becoming unhinged. Not like Tony Storm unhinged, but like her loss to Mariah, seems to be like not Mariah, Mercedes. Her loss to not Mercedes, Jesus. Who'd she lose to? Was it Mariah?
Yeah.
Okay.
At one point, right?
That's the other thing. That's the other thing with Sheeta. They got to be careful. They keep putting her in these awesome matches, but if she keeps taking these L's,
well, I think they're trying to turn the losses into something though.
Where, but that's a dangerous thing.
Herself.
They got to make sure
you got to pull out of it well. But
we'll hope. Team Sheeta for sure.
Oh, it was Britt. She lost to Britt. What am I
That's
thinking?
right. That's right. That's what it was.
Thank you, Big G. I could not remember. Yeah, but I kind of like that. Like she's gonna have to find herself, and I hope it comes back as a tougher, character-wise, a tougher, more intense Sheeta. Like, we haven't really seen that. She's been faced her entire. She could still be face, but she's been very traditional baby face her entire run. I would like to see a bit more of I'm a badass out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the women, you had Mariah May cut a promo on Tony Storm. And then Mina Shirakawa was interviewed, which was interesting because she didn't say anything, but the fact that she was interviewed to me proves interesting.
She definitely stole the internet for a hot minute.
She did. The internet was going a little wild there.
Like I said, she didn't say anything, but she made 2 points.
2 big points.
Not to be that guy, but that's definitely the talk of the internet.
Listen, I wouldn't.
We didn't get anything out of
I am
Mina.
just gonna sit here and nod.
Well, respectfully, but I wouldn't say it if she hadn't been on RJ's show and making those jokes.
Does this make you think that she's gonna get involved at the match at All In though?
1,000%.
I don't think I want that. I understand it fits the story. I get it. I want this to be just one-on-one blood feud. I don't want.
Listen, Tony, we're both gonna die, but I'm writing your eulogy.
I don't want, because it makes me think that because I would think if she's getting involved, she's going with Mariah. She's not going.
That's what I think what's happening.
And then there'll be heels, and there'll be who I'm not from. I know they were like.
If you want to keep
in a group together or friends or
strong,
like
that's the way to
in
do
a
it,
relationship over in where they were Stardom. Like I don't know, I don't watch that, so I don't know. But I know there's obviously the history.
They were in
there.
like a stable together.
Was it a stable? Okay,
yeah.
So I think they'll just probably do that, and there'll be a.
To me, this lines up that that's what's happening.
Yeah, and it also sets up potentially a Jamie Hayter return.
Well, I think Jamie.
Well, do you think that'll be Mercedes and Camille?
Yeah, you got to have a counter to Camille.
Britt with Jamie, yeah. Because Jamie Hayter's last match was against Tony for the title, though, right?
Yeah. I hope she comes back soon.
She's with Britt, and Britt will need a partner because of Camille, so that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Listen, all I know is that.
Or you go the Tony Storm route because the idea here is Mariah's the heel. We want to get Tony over as the face. Mina and then Jamie comes out to a huge pop, saves Tony Storm, which is this weird, like, I know I lost to you, but thing that, we've seen before.
Yeah.
Instead of immediately putting her in the Mercedes Britt situation, which she would have to lose, right?
Mercedes beats Britt.
No.
And then they end up beating Britt down after the match.
Don't get me wrong, either way.
And then Jamie Hayter's music hits in England if she's healthy, and it's just pandemonium.
Yeah, so she's got the Britt ties and the Tony ties, so I think you could do either one. So just pick your poison.
Could you do both, and she just comes out twice for the pop and just destroys everyone?
That's how excited people are for her to come back.
Why not? It's been a while. A
double debut, a double return.
She shows up with the first one. Everyone goes nuts. Everyone was like, "Man, remember that moment an hour ago?" Then she does it again.
And she goes, "I'm just taking over all aspects."
I'm back. I know.
She just every match. She just comes out for every match.
I missed so much. I'm making up for
MJF. You just hear it again. You're like, "What the hell?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So Mina and Mariah won tag titles together in Stardom.
All right,
is what Pieces said in the chat.
Oh, was there? The romance side of it too?
Well, it's not really romance. It's kind of romance. I think it's what you saw in earlier things. Where it's not it's tinted, but not like.
It's girly. It's girlfriends who.
Hello, Meet Normus.
Great name. Great name, Meet Normus.
I will say, the biggest pop you'd get is. Britt loses to, like you were saying, Britt loses to Mercedes.
Yeah.
Camille and Mercedes are beating down Britt, and then Jamie Hayter's music.
Her music hits.
Probably going to have to put her name very big on the board too, because I doubt anyone can remember her music.
She has a banger though.
She does, and it's not an insult to the music or her. It's just that it's been that long that I feel like
it's fair.
But she comes out like that's her. That to me is perfect. So now I saved the worst for last.
Oh,
brutal, dude.
Oh,
we'll go to the learning tree.
So this is not the worst then.
No.
Okay, I know what the worst is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, well done, Pluggo. Well done.
I'll be the.
You know, Chris. You may have took this eye, but guess what? I got another one that works.
Hook should go back to doing his pre-cut vignettes.
I hate it. I am a Hook stan. I am Team Hook. I've been Team Hook since the man debuted. He is gorgeous. He is beautiful. I love him. But I don't need this as a promo. Ever. It's annoying. And it just didn't work. I'm sorry.
It was pretty bad. What
are you doing, dude?
It was pretty bad. The presentation was bad. It was not good.
He also doesn't work as a fired up guy.
No. He's the cool, quiet, brooding, handsome fella in the corner that's going to beat the shit out of you if you step out of line.
That when the chaos is ensuing goes, I got this. Don't worry. We're cool. We're cool.
I will say, though. Go ahead. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, you could go ahead.
I was going to say the line that he said to end it, where he said, "You're never ever going to be the same again."
Oh, that was great.
Well done. That was a well done last line.
Could you imagine if I did
But
every podcast just, hey guys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Puff.
Puff rules.
To me,
I love Puff.
I think
Just
Meek
knows the
Norma
hat.
says in the chat, he goes, I'm a fellow hooker, but they need to do better. He does not need to talk as much as he has. Yeah, he doesn't need long promos. He should come out. He should have a one-liner or a handful of quick little things to say and just beat the shit out of people. That's who he is. You have him cut long form pro. It just didn't sound good. It didn't sound authentic. It didn't sound natural. It was very
He
very
would be
weird.
better off coming out one eye. He could have still done the one eye thing, just not got super close to the camera and said, "You only took out one eye. You should have left me blind."
Yeah.
And that could have just been it, and he would have looked cool. I mean, some line like that. I'm just saying they were going to acknowledge it. But
Yeah.
he could have said in a very low, monotone, threatening voice, and
Hit us with that
Just-
end line and call it.
Yeah.
the end line. I will
The
say,
end line was great. Like, I'm all for
Yeah.
that. You keep that in there. It's the reference that works.
Because even
But
if
it
you're
just-
like with
it just didn't feel
with Jericho, you want Jericho to be like, I don't know what I was teaming with this dude, and I know nothing about him. He doesn't say anything. You want that noodling around in Jericho's head. Instead, you're letting Hook, open a whole diary of dialogue here. Jericho's
it's
just like,
weird.
it just didn't work. It's not
always
his mystique.
Yeah, it's not his. It just, it's bad when, as a wrestling fan, you're watching something and you're like, not only do I not believe a single word that he's saying, but I know he doesn't believe
yes,
He didn't feel
a
comfortable.
single word that he's saying. He did not feel like he meant anything. It just didn't feel like it was just.
it was
Didn't
bad.
work.
But also, he shouldn't be in the Jericho vortex anyway. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast.
No, I mean it's really not. But
I mean, we could go down.
Well,
that
Jericho
road.
told us though that after All In, he's going to be out of the vortex forever.
Thank God.
So that's
Listen,
just, we just need to get to All In.
I firmly am going to say that I enjoy the learning tree. I think it's funny. It makes me laugh. It's right up my alley of cheesiness. That being said, my issue with the Jericho vortex is that it is exactly that. It is a vortex, and that they don't move on from these feuds at all.
And the people
that's
that are
my problem.
Yeah, the people that are supposed to get over don't get over, and Chris Jericho is the only one that ends up like moving forward into the next group that is going to do this over again.
When they started this, I said, keep Hook away from it. His mystique is that. And Jericho, and again, you're with Jericho, and Jericho's an all-timer. We can have that argument, yada, yada, yada. But like, you're working directly with Jericho, and Jericho is having a heavy influence in what you're saying to him. You can tell. So you're taking everything about Hook out of it and making it, it's not working with Hook specifically, because he had such a cool dynamic going into it that was so unique. His presentation was different, and now you're getting fed these cheeseball lines because Chris, for better or worse, has control over the creative that he is a part of. He's not going to let you say anything that he doesn't want you to say.
Yeah.
Well, as Mr. Normus of the Meat Kind points out, this has been going on since February. This is not a story that needs, like, some stories work when
Doesn't
they're
need a blow off at all in.
This story could have lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, like this isn't Hangman versus Swerve. This isn't Roman Reigns
don't bring that
versus
up.
Cody.
Don't bring that up.
Not that
Oh,
level.
and you said Roman and Cody. He's gonna start feuding.
Yeah, don't start, dude. What are you doing?
But
You
my
know-
point being is, like, there's a level to stories that should last 6 to 8 months. This
Yeah.
isn't one of them.
No, this is not. This is not. This doesn't need to be.
This is a
And it's
one.
like, do I think Hook and Big Bill will be fine next week or on Collision whenever they said they're gonna do it? Yeah. Did I laugh at the bounty hunter repeating the line that Big Bill said? Yeah, I laughed at that. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care about.
I'm with
this.
you. And
what happened
This
to
is a
Private
one-man-
Party?
I like Hook, and I like Hook. I don't care about this at all.
Like,
This
what
is-
happened? Private Party was in this thing for like a week, maybe two, and then
they're having
like,
their own
"We're
party.
done." Yeah, and now we're just like, we're gonna drag Hook for months.
Like, what are we doing, man? Like, and I know, they had Hook off because they don't. I assume maybe he's back now, so they do. I don't know, but part of it was we're doing the angle, and the other part is they don't know his future. Apparently, They don't know. They're not fully on board with where he's going to be. So fine. If I was him, I'd say put Jericho over me, and then I'm gonna go over on NXT. That's what
I'll
I'm
see on Tuesdays.
I'll see on Tuesdays on the C-Dub. That's what I would do. Because he'll walk there, he'll walk into NXT, and he'll be a damn heartthrob, and they'll be like, "Hey, we're not going to give you 10-minute promos."
Yes, they will.
But they'll at least maybe teach him how to do them.
No, they'll just write it for him.
Unbelievable.
Listen, there's a lot that to be benefited for him in NXT, but less promo time is not one of them. They will.
Sean would teach him the way.
He was better with those vignettes, just quick.
That's what they need to
cool.
get back to. Just let him
be cool.
Chase you. Wow, that'd be something. Imagine Hook and Chase you. Wow. Anyway,
so now we go on to what I view.
He'd be a perfect
as the
foil
worst
for
thing of the
Thea
night.
Hale, though. Thea Hale's energy, Hook's not
I love
energy.
Thea Hale.
I love Thea.
That would be
She was
beautiful.
she outside the ring on NXT last night was as equally entertaining as that tag match to end that show last night.
She's so funny.
Unbelievable. This is bad, Ryan. I'll let you set it up, but this is bad.
Our main event of the not our main event. Sorry, second to main event of the evening. The Acclaimed, Anthony Bones and Max Caster versus the EVPs, the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. It actually, listen, the Acclaimed can wrestle. It was a good match. Some back and forth. They started out on the ramp. You thought the EVPs were going to get one over. The Acclaimed reversed it. They get to the ring. Then the EVPs pull a smart one, and they get daddy ass kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Then FTR comes out because the EVPs are cheating, so they come out to, I guess, level the playing field. I don't know. They end up attacking the EVPs, which results in a disqualification and a win for the Young Bucks, meaning that the Acclaimed will lose and don't get the titles. Christopher Daniels goes backstage and says, we're going to have a number one contenders match on Collision between FTR and the Acclaimed. Just settled that feud they've been setting up for the past couple of weeks.
Which was so weird.
Weird? That's what you're using? I'm calling it dog shit.
This was just bad.
Clearly, Daniels, you're supposed to be the good guy. Why wouldn't you say, hey, FTR, you...
First of all,
this was a vehicle just to get FTR Bucks 2 at Wembley.
No, I think they're going to do a triple threat.
All that work to get back to Bucks FTR at Wembley, which is fine. It's a good match, but we've seen it like 12 times.
Listen, first of all,
Ryan.
No,
I know.
Let go. JPG's got a good rant on him. I could tell.
No, I know.
He's trying to be good.
Me,
it's not our house.
FTR doing what they did in this match is the most anti-FTR thing that would ever happen.
That's true.
Like, I get them coming down to, like, you know, level the playing field because the Bucks are being shitheads like they normally are. FTR to me would not do that. They would not cause a disqualification in a match, a title. They are the epitome of like what pro wrestling is supposed to be from a tag team standpoint. Like they are those guys. They would not do that.
People change. People change.
No.
People change. People change.
Yeah. People don't forget.
People don't forget.
But like, you know, like it to me, it made no sense. It made no sense that they would just go, yeah, I'm just gonna attack this guy and cause a DQ. Why? It was so stupid. It was so stupid. And now they're gonna do this match, and it's either gonna end up like Pluggo said, being FTR and the Bucks, which again will be a great match, but it's a match we've seen 10 times. Or they're going to do a triple threat. And it's like, what was the whole point? First of all, why'd you wait 2.5 months to give the Acclaim the friggin' title shot to begin with? They won that shit literally 2 months ago. Like, you could have not waited till a week and a half before your biggest show to decide what the hell you're doing with your tag belts. They defended it 3 times. They've had them for like 200 friggin' days.
And to Kate's point, she's not here, but to her point is they don't even use their EVP status as the reason they don't defend them, which would make sense storyline wise. If they're like, "Oh, you have a match, we can't make it. But we're just gonna
cross ourselves out of that list." Yeah, we have meetings all day.
But here's
he opened up another small one. He's gone. He's going.
Well, he should be, but there's only one way this works, and they won't do it because it's just not the story they're telling, which is the FTR would have to come out and say, basically, fuck you, Acclaimed. We did this because we hate you.
Yeah.
And we knew it would cost you, and we were good with it. And I don't see them coming out and doing that.
I don't understand what the logical explanation would be for them. Like, is their answer just going to be, I lost my temper?
The Bucks did. I mean, with the whole CM Punk thing, the Bucks did blame FTR for their loss last year at Wembley. So, I mean, you could. There's a way to get there, but my issue is, and they do this with the Acclaimed all the time. They heat them up, they get them, people behind them again, and then they just pull this rug out under them when nobody wants it to happen, and then they correct it later, which I don't know if they will in this situation, like they did it with.
I don't think there's the Acclaimed have people behind them now.
And well, they're at their lowest point, and now you're doing this, and all it looked like to me was all this setup was just to get the vehicle to get FTR at Wembley with the Bucks, whether it's a triple threat or not. It's that's the headline, the Bucks and FTR again, with all the history at Wembley, and then maybe they can air the footage again. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird, and the match was flat. It just didn't. It was a good match, but the crowd at that point was kind of dead, and I just was like, oh god. And then FTR comes out and essentially helps the Bucks retain.
Yeah, like I just don't.
It's a weird. I know they beat him up. But
did not understand why.
Wouldn't you have rather had FTR help the Acclaimed, get one up on them, piss off the EVPs to the point that they go, "We want a rematch" or something, and then he, Timu Adam Pearce comes out and says, "We'll make it a triple threat because this is from Tony Khan." Right? There's a way to make this work where you still get it, and it kind of made more sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing my mind.
There was a way
or
to
if
make
you
it
want
work.
a triple threat, just never give Acclaimed the exact number one title contendership.
Right.
And let it float out there and just say, hey, by the way, at Wembley, it's a triple threat.
What is the point of Daniels if he's gonna just be like, yeah, we'll settle this on Collision with the team that just ruined my main event.
Literally.
And we're gonna give him another shot instead of saying like, you guys screwed up, you're out.
If you wanted FTR involved to begin with, you could have just given Acclaimed this title match a month and a half ago after they won the Eliminator. You could have just said, "Oh, they won the Eliminator. They had a pay-per-view after they won the Eliminator, and they no." Because the
I was even
in blood and guts and anarchy in the arena and all this shit. It was like you could have just given them the title match a month after it happened, 3 weeks after it happened. You could have done the same shit, terrible stuff you just did tonight. Then 5 weeks later, now it's FTR and the Bucks and everybody's. It
was just a weird. It was a weird decision. You could see where they wanted to go, but like. None of that jives with any of the people. Like it was kind of the Hook thing. Like it did jive with the people that are in the story. It made like FTR's just all of a sudden like bad guys.
And that was my thing too. Like it was just so not. It was so not in FTR's character.
2 weeks ago they were Team AEW.
Yeah.
This week they're screwing over one of the most over tag teams in AEW history.
And truthfully, though, why does FTR care who wins?
Yeah,
they'll get their title shot against whoever it is.
100%.
All they have to do is say we want the shot.
Yeah, they could have walked in Tony's office tomorrow morning and said, "Hey, Tony, that tag match that happened last night. All right, we would like to face the winner at All In." And Tony most likely would go, "Okay." Yeah.
Or come out before the match and say that, like, I just talked to Tony. Whoever wins this thing, we got you at Wembley, and we're scouting this thing. And then you could have some shenanigans happen.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing they could have done. Hey, we talked to Tony, and he said, "Guess what? The winner of this match, we get him at Wembley." And then you could have done what you did. Yeah. Whatever, if you want to get to a triple threat or however you want to do it.
I understand almost wanting to get to a triple threat in the sense of making it different than last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think maybe you could have used a different team to get a chance to get a new team.
But I honestly think that they're riding the Acclaimed out until there is a heel turn of sorts in the group and they break up. I think that's what we're getting. I think if you bring it to All In, you do a triple threat, they lose. Let's say Bowens takes the pin, even though, Bowens is the guy of that group. But let's say Bowens takes the pin, or let's say Caster takes the pin. you could always do, oh, Young Bucks got one up again. They're still the champs. Damn. And then the turn happens at All In, and it's 2 weeks later, you got one-on-one Bowens versus Caster, and that's an all right match.
And how about this little thing too? Like, let's be a little transparent here. The AEW tag division is not as strong as it used to be.
No.
Name another team that's ready to go to step into that triple threat match that would get a pop that the Acclaim would get, or FTR or the Bucks, because the Lucha Bros are out the door. Starks and Big Bill, like they're not a thing anymore. Name another tag team.
I mean,
right
it's
now.
really right now.
They should have built someone to be in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think he's what used to be a super strong point of AEW television is now kind of like.
I mean, the thing is they have the teams, they just don't use them.
Yeah,
Well,
they got
they're
Private
all-
Party. They got Top Flight.
Sure.
They got
somebody in the
MXM.
chat says, MXM. Grizzled
they're
Young
in ROH.
Veterans are potentially. Grizzled Young Veterans potentially could have.
So is Mark Briscoe.
Be involved.
Oh, I know. Oh, and they got a lot of, they got the patriarchy, but that's a trios thing. They got all these trios teams. They're trying to get this trios thing going. You could, but then we always complain, oh, you got the trios title guys going for the tag titles. They just need to rebuild this division, and I think he's looking at it going, I can have FTR the Bucks again. Everybody loves that match. It's always a 5-star. Yeah. But again, it's one of those things that you're going to the well, maybe one too many.
But if you had built taken Private Party to come out of their Jericho Vortex on top, which they didn't,
looking good.
But if you had put them to come out on top, you could have built them up, and then they could be sitting here being like, it's our time at All In to be the guys.
And they have the built-in where we upset the Bucks in the first round of the inaugural tournament. Like, yeah, there's all these things you could have done, but why aren't you doing them? I don't understand it. I don't know. You got all this program, you got all this television.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
It just did not hit. Did not hit for me at all. At all.
You kind of feel bad for the Acclaimed a little bit. You're like, oh, God, poor guys. This ain't going to be about you at all.
No. Well, I love ending on a positive note, but that's where we are.
Yeah.
So, guys,
I'm positive that was rough at the end of that Dynamite.
So I'm gonna ask Mr. JPJ, when you are not subbing in for Kate and Joe, where can you be found?
I can be found at JPJ Loves Gaming on most social media platforms. If you don't find me at that, try JPJ Loves Wrestling and you'll find me. But I'm over on all of them. We're on the threads. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram, all of them. You can find me on Twitch as well. I play a lot of video games over there, badly. But I play a lot of video games over there as well. But on the wrestling side of things, you can find both me and Pluggo tomorrow night and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. at youtube.com/lovewrestlingca. We do a show called Between Two Beards. It's the flagship show of Love Wrestling. Ryan has been on a few times, more than a few times. He's been on a bunch. Yeah. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of Love Wrestling. So you can find me there. And then every Tuesday and every Thursday at 10 a.m. over on the YouTube Love Wrestling, I do a show with our buddy Drew Nicholas. We call it Firmly Love Wrestling now, but on Tuesdays we do Firmly WWE, and on Thursdays we do Firmly AEW. So that's where you
can not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we are off. We'll be back next Tuesday because Drew's having some work done on his apartment.
It's the Firmly Mark Order podcast.
Yes, 100%.
And Pluggalo, when you're not subbing in,
God damn it.
Where can you be found?
Hey, I'm an official bullpen arm, according to Asian Joe.
Yeah, and everybody in the chat that, if you guys are, you can do Wednesday nights here with the Mark Order Pod. Tomorrow night, you're all welcome. 8 p.m. Eastern, man. We have a good time. Ryan will tell you.
You'll see me in the chat.
Yeah. But yes, you could, like he said, you can find me Thursday nights with him. We got AJ Awesome Show. AJ from the AJ Awesome Show is coming on, hanging out with us. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into his history in wrestling because he's got a shorter one than I do. So I'm excited. I like different perspectives. But then you can also right now on Love Wrestling CA on YouTube, you can find an interview I just did with the one, the only Gigi Ray. We talked about her MLW debut. The West Edmonton Brawl is coming up this Saturday. And that was one of my favorite interviews I've done in quite some time. She's fantastic. You can check me out. And then you can check me out Saturday at noon Eastern, not our normal 10 a.m., because Big Bad Boris is going to hop in. We're going to do a West Edmonton Brawl preview show for Exposure because Blair's out of town, so I'm running the ship. And he's going to do it from the mall, so you never know which one of your favorite LPW people might show up and just crash that thing. So And then, of course, you can find me at Pluggo on every social media platform. You search Pluggo, you find this face. 4 Exposures at 4 Exposure Pod on Twitter. And then Between Two Beards is at B2Beards across all social media platforms. We've got some really cool stuff coming out from our SummerSlam trip. I'm working on.
We have interviews up currently.
Interviews
we got
up,
to interview Baron Corbin, DIY, Bailey, Gunther, Braun Breaker as well. I see Kate in the chat. We love you too. Happy Fightful anniversary over there. Look at, she said, them beards, love you guys. We love her.
No, she said, thanks, facial haired fellas.
Yes.
I've never heard that. But coming from Kate, it's allowed. I allow it between 2 facial haired fellas, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Love wrestling.
Correct.
I will encourage everyone to go watch Between Two Beards. Like I said, you'll see me in the chat. I'm a regular watcher. They always have good guests and have a fun time. It's insanity half the time. I will encourage you to watch all Love Wrestling stuff, especially their actual wrestling, which occurs, is it the last Friday?
The last Friday of every month, yes.
Last Friday this month, we're doing a Saturday show this week.
We are.
It's on IWTV. If you want to see some great Canadian indie wrestlers, some of which you will see probably in some of the big companies coming up. So take a watch. It's a good time. And of course, they always have this month, you guys have
No, that's this Saturday. The West Edmonton Mall. We're running
this Saturday.
We're running it this
We're running
Saturday.
a show. We're running a show at the West Edmonton Mall, which is the largest mall in all of Canada. I think it's the second largest mall to the Mall of America in all of North America. It's by the same people that made this, so it's a giant mall, and we have a show there on this Saturday.
You have who's the big wrestler coming in this weekend?
Rob Van Dam's doing a meet
and greet.
But we got Jasmine Allures coming in, Gigi Ray. You've seen them on AEW.
Oh,
the Boros twins have been on AEW. Zoe Sager, Marcia Specialist, all your favorite LPW alums. Reed Matthews is coming. Rich King is coming. Jack Pride is going to be there.
Yeah, they're all going to be there. And obviously, Pluggo and I, we work for Love Wrestling, but I kid you not, like, I knew nothing about Canadian independent wrestling before I started working at Love Wrestling like 3 years ago. That stuff. Oh, my white beard is glorious. Well, thank you, sir.
And also, Kate says you guys are some of the best people in the space when she talks about Love Wrestling.
Yeah.
So, part of that, so
I kid you not. If you guys got a couple hours, you got 2.5, 3 hours, anytime really. But on the last Friday nights of the month, you will not find better independent wrestling than the stuff we got going on at Love Wrestling. Like though our roster kills it. The shows are really good. The crowd is always hyped. Definitely check it out. If you like good independent wrestling, it's a good time, man. You will love it. You will love it, I promise.
And it all seems like good people, which is always a big thing.
Yeah.
And Spencer seems like an actual decent person running a wrestling company, which is not always something you
Not
find.
always the case. Not always the case.
So
besides yelling at us every Friday morning, he's all right.
Well, you deserve that, though.
Yeah, you do,
so
JBJ.
Find me on all our socials at Mark Order Pod. So with that, I will try to put up our overlay because that's what I do. I thank everyone. Wait, pulled it down for a second. Thank everyone in the chat for hanging out. Always makes it much better. And now, overlay. See, I talk through it this.
This concludes the Mark Order Podcast. We now